Economic development, Highway 30 lands, and internet gaming all on the agenda at an important meeting held between Grand Chief Mike Delisle Jr., Lloyd Phillips, the Intergovernmental Affairs Chief, and Quebec Native Affairs Minister Geoffrey Kelley, Thursday in Kahnawake.
Well, it was a very good meeting, as always. We have a lot of important issues around economic development, and obviously with our regime it's always a little bit complicated because there are the things that the federal government has to do, there are the things the provincial government has to do. So I think we have a very clear idea of those questions that need to be cleared up. It was a very frank exchange, as it always is, but I think we have every interest to help Kahnawake grow its economy, so I'm looking forward to working to finding solutions.
We've been productive. We've done a lot of good things together, Highway 30 specifically, and that whole contentious issue of trading land and so on for the Belt Road. But because the impending lawsuit, which hasn't had any legs and isn't going anywhere in the short term, has really impeded our progress on trying to develop that land, it was one of the focal points today.
One of the big challenges is completing the transfer of the lands. Quebec, by decree, has sent them over to Ottawa. There's certain static on the line, if you will, from some of the neighboring municipalities. So if we could find some way to solve that problem.
The four surrounding municipalities, Chateauguay, all the way to Côte St. Catherine, St. Isidore, and St. Gaston in between, filed a lawsuit against the provincial government, not against Kahnawake, holding up the actual process. So we've received a letter recently from the Department of Justice Canada saying that they can't move forward until this gets done. The provincial government, Department of Justice, is going to a preliminary hearing in April, the end of the month, to try and have this dismissed based on lack of grounds and delay after delay after delay. But it's causing real problems for economic development and Mohawk Council of Kahnawake. So it's one of the issues that was addressed today.
There's still the question of the project along the 207 to improve that road, which I think is very important to the community, and then access to some of the land along Highway 30. The Quebec government invested so much money in Highway 30 as a tool for economic development for everybody along the 30, including the Mohawks. So there's some more work that needs to be done to get us to a position where we can have, interesting projects going forward along the 30, which would create employment, would increase, create economic potential for, possibilities for the community here.
Again, it was a positive meeting with Minister Kelley. We had some very serious topics to discuss. It was done in a very respectful manner. Quebec has taken some positions against internet gaming. They're very hard pressed on some of their tax issues.
Part of it was a surprise to him, so we had to give him some detail on that.
I must admit, wasn't informed before the budget came out, so the chief and the other representatives here today, we had a very good discussion about some of the concerns that were raised here. I will take them back to Quebec City and see what the government's intentions are. As I say, I learned about it at the same time as Kahnawake learned about it when my colleague Carlos Latau did the budget speech. So we'll go back and make sure that the concerns that were raised here today are heard in Quebec City.
We anticipate there being some bumps in the road, but at least with a positive relationship with Minister Kelley, it helps smoothen the road a bit ahead, because our relationship with other ministries are not nearly as good, and if we have an inroad, at least it's a great benefit.
Overall, it was about trying to reinforce that established relationship that we have, and as Minister Kelley put it, not only reinvigorating but picking up the pace. It's been slow since our meeting with Premier Couillard in December. We need to speed it up a little bit to get some results.